In character design, aesthetic is very important. When we name a character, there must be a visual element that is instantly recognizable. Like the mechanic body of General Grievous, the Jedi slaying killing machine from Star Wars. And the blazing skull of Johnny Blaze, the Ghost Rider mounting his burning motorbike and unleashing a trail of fires of hell. Ladies and gentlemen, greetings, I'm Alex from Zalrix and you're watching Fusion Factory, the show where I will be drawing fusion between pop culture characters. If you want to know more about how to draw and understand fusion, be sure to consult the description where my entire system is clearly worded out. You can also find there a playlist of all my fusion videos, but please by all means stick around to watch this video first. And while you're there, if you want to support the channel, be sure to subscribe and activate the bell to be notified whenever a new video comes up and leave a big ass like. On that note, let's take a look at our fusion materials. If the Star Wars universe had one impossible to debate strength, it's the characters. Darth Vader is anchored in pop culture as one of the most iconic villains of all time. That said, the character that interests us today is none other than the Jedi's ultimate bane during the Clone Wars, the killing machine known as General Grievous. Once a feared warlord in his own planet of Kaleesh, Grievous eventually developed a hatred towards the Republic and especially the Jedi Order. In fact, he was so good and great of a warrior that legend says that he was able to find flaws in the seemingly perfect fighting style of Jedi Knights. And it is after sustaining life-threatening injuries that the man once known as Kamen Giant Shalal began replacing his body part with cybernetic limbs and weapons. General Grievous was born. Compared to you behind your screen who have the power to share this video as much as possible, Grievous doesn't possess any superpower. But he doesn't need them! His entire body is a weapon! His armor is super strong, super fast, super malleable, it can adapt and take multiple forms adapted to many battlefields, even powerful enough to take on 4 Jedis at one time. At least until the original Clone Wars was decanonized and it was later retconned. Anyway.
Oh no, go ahead. Let's talk about the Star Wars canon.
Nope, we're not talking about the Star Wars canon. I'm really attached to my mental health. But don't worry, the canon version of Grievous is just as scary. A genius when it comes to military strategy, he is extremely skilled even in lightsaber fighting, and there is not a single general in the Republican army foolish enough to underestimate General Grievous.
They sent a child to destroy my station! The Republic must be running out of Jedi!
Complete the mission. Set the charges and rendezvous at the landing bay. That's an order, Rex. I'll keep the general busy.
Ahsoka Tano is not a general. Aesthetically speaking, Grievous is a giant metal spider humanoid machine, armed with a total of 6 limbs, multiple weapons, and lightsabers, all attached to his very scary skeleton-like body. His strong feat include his mask mimicking a skull head and his eyes that are instantly recognizable beneath it. That said, if Grievous had one defining trait, it's its collection of lightsabers stolen from fallen Jedis, including obviously all the moveset he has developed around them. All features making the cyborg a worthy opponent and a true menace to any Republican officer. At this point, I don't think the Marvel Universe needs any introduction.
No, it doesn't. Half of your Fusion episodes are about Marvel.
Yep, that's an interesting point and criticism that I'm gonna ignore. There are multiple types of Marvel characters. There are the powerless who rise above the rest due to an incredible set of skills. The super-powered one possessing unnatural abilities, the aliens, visitor from another world, and then there are the magic ones. But where characters like Scarlet Witch or Doctor Strange draw their forces from the mystic arts, there are those who draw their powers from biblical source, the literal fires of hell. That's the case for Johnny Blaze, who uses hellish powers to become the Ghost Rider. So Johnny Blaze, originally he was a daredevil.
No, Matt Murdock Bardock is Daredevil.
No, not that Daredevil. Not the blind kind fighting crimes, the kind who rides a motorcycle and makes crazy dangerous cascade. Rewarded by a gigantic adrenaline rush, the applause of a crowd, and let's face it, a pretty decent paycheck. Everything was well, but due to his family's heritage, it was eventually Johnny's turn to become the embodiment of the spirit of vengeance and take the name of the Ghost Rider. The spirit of the rider enchanted Johnny and his motorbike, giving him superhuman strength, speed, durability, and regeneration. He also possesses high-level pyrokinesis, he opens portals, he can become intangible, teleport, and that's just for the more concrete power, because in universe, Doctor Strange himself admitted that the spirit of the Ghost Rider's power was limitless. And that's the only reason why they don't reach God tier level of power is because their human forms restrain them to do so. Physically speaking, the Rider is a biker in the literal sense of the term. He has biker pants and a leather jacket. And even though he's far from being S-tier level such as Spider-Man, Batman or Superman, few designs are as iconic as his. When we see his blazing chain, his fiery motorbike, and his burning skull, we immediately know we are confronted to the spirit of vengeance, the burning power of hell, the ultimate pyromancer, the spirit of the Ghost Rider. Using these two characters is a surprising idea, but a welcomed one. Although they are very different in design, they both vehicle the same idea.
You mean the danger of change and evolution and a slow descent to hell for whoever is touched by their unfortunate fate?
No! Death. While Grievous looks like a skeleton man directly from the abyss of a cyberpunk version of hell, Ghost Rider is a literal spirit linked to the afterlife. But as I said, they are very different both in terms of design and concept. So multiple choices were offered to me in this fusion and I am proud of the path I have taken. This is Ghostgrieve! I went for a parasite fusion, where one character seems to overtake the other body in an inconvenient way. It's a version of General Grievous that was granted the power of the Ghost Rider, only these powers see Grievous's armor as a vehicle and not a body part. That's why I represented them multi-layered by fire, as I feel like the spirit of the Ghost Rider just wouldn't understand Grievous's complex anatomy. I didn't want him to wield the lightsabers, as I believe they're weaker than what the Ghost Rider's power can grant him, so why use them at this point? Although, I did give him the Ghost Rider's chain. I drew many of them as I think Grievous would be the kind of host to use multiple of the same weapon, just like he does with the lightsabers. For the color palette and the shapes of the armor, I went darker than Grievous, so his armor looks like a melted leather jacket evocating Johnny Blaze's motorbike look. In the end, don't mistake, even if this creature looks inconvenient, it wanders the galaxy ready to slaughter all the Jedis within it. Normally this would be the end, but this week the Fusion Factory welcomes a new artist. This is Akash Dara's
Grievous Death!
Here we can see Dara went for an evocation fusion. The Grievous aspect is very present in the armor and the Ghost Rider element in the flame and energy. Although, I really enjoyed that he shifted the color of the fire to match the lightsabers. That plus I really love how he kept subtle of the multi-arm aspect Grievous. Let's see what he has to say about it. First of all, thank you Azelrix for having me, as I really appreciate your video and love the fact that I'm being featured in one of them now. Oh, so cute, thank you. And when it comes to the design of Grievous Death, General Grievous X Ghost Rider, the first thing that came to my mind was whether to use the skeleton of Grievous' actual head or to use the helmet he's famous for always wearing in this design. I ended up finding a way which let me use his helmet, but also due to the existence of his real skeleton behind it, only allowing the off-white part of his body, i.e. the armor, to be the only part of his body not to be engulfed in the plasma. Speaking of plasma, as much as I would love to draw Grievous rocking a leather jacket with spikes all over, it just wouldn't have made much sense for this character. In the end, I decided to go with a look where some of his inner skeleton is just exposed in the plasma, which has a color scheme alluding to the color of the lightsabers. This is because instead of making a deal with Mephisto or any other supernatural being, he's the result of a last-minute rescue mission which ended up up making him into a being of living plasma, a living lightsaber to speak. Anyway, hope I was able to live up to your expectations. You sure did, buddy. I had such high expectation after seeing your work on Instagram, which you can find down below, and you didn't disappoint.
Yes, is better than you in every sense of the term.
That's not what I said.
A great artist compared to an amateur.
Okay, Salty, we get it.
I mean, he's objectively better than you. Look at that.
Can we just go to the after talk? So that's it, guys. Tell me in the comment section what do you think about these designs and which was your favorite one. Remember to please follow Akash on his social media and to check his work. He is phenomenal. And then you can also remember to follow me on Instagram and Twitter to support my artwork, and remember to tell me which character do you want me to fuse next. Then you can reach to me in a way or another, and who knows, maybe someday we'll do a collaboration. Then you can share this video with all your Star Wars and Marvel fan friends, and as always, thanks for watching.